Welcome everyone for this course on pressure relief devices. So let's begin. The primary function of a pressure relief device is to prevent overpressure by automatically opening the pressure relief device and releasing the pressure inside the vessel by releasing a volume of fluid, whether it's gas or liquid, from within the vessel when a predetermined set pressure is reached inside the vessel. Now, why use a pressure relief device to begin with? Well, thousands of people have died from boiler explosions. For example, if you look at the time period between 1906 and 1911, in those 5 years, there were 1,300 deaths reported in the US alone from 1,700 boiler explosions. So you had all of these pressure vessels, they had overpressure incidents that caused these vessels to catastrophically explode. And this is just reported in 5 years, let alone, and in the US, let alone in other areas in the US or the whole world. So in response to these catastrophes, you have the ASME Boiler and Pressure Vessel Code, which was established in 1915, and amongst its regulations is the design and testing requirements for pressure relief devices such as safety valves and rupture discs. So right now, if you go anywhere in the US, if you see a pressure vessel, then you must find it is protected against these overpressure incidents by a pressure relief device. So simply put, the sole purpose of a pressure relieving device is to protect life and property. Now, you might wonder, why not just design a vessel that can handle all overpressure incidents to prevent the vessel from failing? Well, first let's look at these pictures. Over here on the left-hand side, you have a large vessel that has exploded. And the following two pictures, you actually have implosion on these vessels. So what that means is, instead of having an overpressure scenario, these vessels had an underpressure scenario where there was vacuum created, or the air had a higher pressure. The ambient pressure was higher than the pressure inside the vessel, and so you could see these large vessels just crumbling. And the last two pictures are fire incidents, and we will cover that in this course as well. So the sad reality is, all of these plants, economics really determine and drive the operations near the design pressure of these vessels, because investors want to make more profit. So investors at the end of the day look at the return on investment before they decide on investing in a project. And so in order to get a higher return on investment, you need maximum throughput, you want maximum yield, you want higher flow rates in these plants, and that pushes the plants to run at near the design pressure of the equipment. And so operating near the design limits of these vessels would increase the risk of exceeding safe pressure thresholds. And so you might think, why can't you just use instrumentation control, such as a pressure transmitter that then controls valves based on the pressure reading of the vessel to depressurize the vessel? Well, the problem with just depending on instrumentation control is that the external control systems themselves can fail because they depend on the electrical power. On the other hand, pressure relief devices operate solely on the process medium. So they're designed to activate when all of these other systems fail. They only activate based on the process medium itself. So you have steam, gas, or liquid that pushes against, in case of a pressure relief valve, it pushes against the disc, which has a spring that's forcing it to close. And once the gas or fluid inside the vessel reaches a particular pressure, it pushes against the disc and it opens and releases the pressure. And so these pressure relief devices operate independently of these external power sources. And usually what you find is, you'd find a combination, you'd find a pressure relief valves as a last line of defense, let's say, and you'd have instrumentation control as well. that protects the equipment as well. Pressure relief devices are one of the things in life that you never want them to actually have to work, because that means you hit an overpressure scenario, but also you cannot live without.